Happy pre-birthday, Ron Moshier.
Thanks, Bill, but I'm wondering how you got that. How you knew that.
We'll never tell. Ron, I actually, we dig deep. Very deep.
Wow, I guess so.
Yeah.
We never reveal our sources.
It is tomorrow, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. That's the only thing Shaquille O'Neal and I have in common.
That's awesome. Well, it's the only thing I'll get right this morning, according to some people. So there you have it. All right. Well, listen. Again, happy birthday to you, Ron Moshier.
Thank you.
So let's see. Let's go to Notre Dame first on the boys' side.
Well, I hate to say I told you so, but with the experience they've got, I covered the first two games yesterday morning, and Marquell Slaughter did a great job covering the Notre Dame game last night. Dante Griffin obviously went off. He had a sore wrist and still scored a career-high 35 points for them. And, Ryan Gokes' team has so many options. They've got great guards in Dante Griffin and Trajan Garrett and Jalen Warmack, yet another Warmack kid. And then you throw in Derek Lindsey, who's a lunch pail type kid who does all the dirty work. And then you got Nick Cordo, a 6'6" center, who at times he can go off too inside on the low post. So they just have so many weapons. And Ryan has told me that his bench is better than it has been in the last few years. And I'm just not surprised at all that they're where they're at right now. And I've already been doing this morning some research on the Franklin Academy team from Malone up north that they play on Wednesday night. Yeah. And I know Ryan wouldn't want me saying this, but I have to label Notre Dame as a prohibitive favorite in that game because up in Section 10 there aren't many schools as it is, and there aren't many Class A and AA teams as it is. And when they won a Section 10 title against Messina last week, Franklin Academy up there in Section 10, then they have like a tournament of champions with all the different classes playing each other. And in the last game that Franklin played, they lost to the Class D champion, Harrisville, who, believe me, is very good, but they lost the Class D Section 10 champion in their last game. I just think Notre Dame's a prohibitive favorite in that game, and if they do win Wednesday night, they go to Hudson Valley Community College on Saturday for a regional final, which really amounts to a state quarterfinal game against Mahonison from the Albany area, who is very good. So I know Ryan and the Jugglers can't look ahead, but I'm looking ahead to that matchup as being the real pivotal one to see if they can get to the Final Four.
There's so much to talk to. Instead, I know Cooperstown fell, Madison fell, and some of the.
They both came back, Bill. Both great comebacks. Madison came back from 16 down. Cooperstown came back from 20 points down late in the third quarter. Yeah. A dramatic comeback, and both of them. They didn't just come back; they actually took the lead late, and then wound up each of them losing by 1 point in heartbreakers.
Let's look, because there's a lot of other issues to get into. This is such a busy time of year. On the girls' side, I know Waterville plowed forward. They'll be playing for a championship as well.
They're in the regional finals Saturday at SRC Arena at Onondaga Community College, and they're only one win away from the state Final Four, which is the following weekend at Hudson Valley Community College in Troy. So, just a shout out to Brookfield, who didn't have a girls team for like 24 years, and this is only their third or fourth season back, and they went 20-0 before losing a tough game to Waterville at the Carrier Dome in the finals. So, Brookfield, believe me, when they're it's the little town, the little school that could, because their graduating class is about 15 kids, Bill, and they don't have a JV program, and now that girls basketball is back and they've got a couple young players, I think they're going to be back for a while. This isn't a fluke. So
let's talk about the big school that should. Syracuse is with a big win over the weekend. Wake Forest tomorrow. That's a must win. Then it's on to North Carolina. At what point do you see Syracuse making the tournament?
Well, I think they got to win a couple, and I don't think it's I better check the bracket again. I thought if they win against Wake Forest, it's North Carolina State.
North Carolina State, you're correct. Yes.
Oh, good. Well, I say good for the Orange because
wait a minute.
I think that's a little easier game.
Okay, wait a minute. We
North Carolina. Hey, let's face it. Wake Forest isn't a gimme. They split with them this year.
They did. I don't think Manaski says we're not right.
No. Yeah. Hang on a second here.
It is UNC.
Down. It is UNC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh well, then. I know. When I looked at the bracket at work Saturday afternoon, it was changing by the hour because it depended on who won and who lost.
Right.
So the first one I saw was NC State.
Yeah.
So if it's North Carolina, well, obviously, if they win two, if they beat Wake Forest and then UNC, then I would say they're in.
Yeah.
But
what if they lose?
I don't know if a first round win over Wake Forest is going to do it. Let's face it. The other day was their first win over a ranked opponent all year.
I know. That's just crazy.
I know they beat Louisville at Louisville, but Louisville's not the Louisville of old.
Sure.
And I don't know if you guys watched any of Saturday's game, but they did win. They did beat an opponent that's ranked 18th in the country, but that opponent already is in the tournament, I would believe. And that was at Syracuse, obviously, in front of 28,000 plus. And, so SU had a lot going for them, plus it was a must-win. But if you watch the first half of that game, oh, my God, offensively, and Boeheim said it all year, they struggled. I mean, if Tyus Battle doesn't get hot in the second half, he did little or nothing in the first half. They were double and triple teaming the ball, and SU wasn't doing much offensively. They don't get much from the front court. From inside. And, Dolezaj did in the first half. He had 7 points. I don't think he scored again in the second half. But at least Battle got hot, and Howard and Brissett did just enough.
Here's a little trivia question for you, and see how well you do on this. If it's about SU, probably not. Well, the last time Colgate University made the NCAA tournament, Syracuse was in the NCAA tournament, and what round did they lose in that year?
What round did Syracuse lose in?
Yeah, they ultimately lost, but what round did they lose?
Oh, my gosh, I would have no idea.
Toughy.
That's what Google's for, Bill.
How about 1996? They lost to Kentucky in the national championship. The last time Colgate was in the tournament. Now, Colgate, they're a win away from making the tournament for only the third time in their history.
Right. When I got back from the Dome after doing two stories on the Cooperstown and Madison game, I had to get on that and do the Colgate thing too, obviously from afar. But I think they played Bucknell. Bucknell won big, and they're the top seed in that tournament. So I would have to call Colgate the underdog. But hey, what that team has done, and they're relatively young too. If they win that and get in the tournament, and they'll do it without an O'Donnell Foyle. They don't have a 6'10" center who's going to go to the NBA. So no, I think it's great for this area. And you bring up Colgate. Colgate women's hockey lost in the finals of the ECAC to the defending national champion Clarkson, but I'm sure they'll get a bid to the national tournament too. So also Morrisville State women going to the D3 national championship in women's hockey. So we got a lot going on. Hey, don't forget Hamilton College. We've got so many teams. Hamilton College men's basketball are in the Sweet 16. And I predict they're going to beat Springfield, and that'll put them in the Elite Eight.
And Herkimer College is moving forward as well, right?
Yes, they go to the Nationals not this coming weekend, but the weekend after. It's Sullivan County Community College, and they started out 15-0.
Yeah,
we're number one in the country. Lost 3 or 4, 3, 4, or 5 actually, and now all of a sudden have it turned back around. And they got a great coach in Matt Lee. I'm showing my age, seeing that it's a day before my birthday. I'm showing my age, but Matt Lee was a great player at Holland Patton. I think he was an assistant coach at Whitesboro for a while, and since he's been at HCCC, the Generals have been very, very good. Yep. This is their 6th trip to the Nationals in 8 years, so hats off to Matt Lee, too.
And one final, of course, we'll find out this morning if the Utica Pioneers men's hockey team will make the NCAA tournament. It looks like there'll be a field of 12.
Yeah, that's going to be close.
It is going to be close. About 10:30, we should find out later on this morning. So
yeah, I mean they got a great record. I would be concerned that league, the strength of that conference, may wind up hurting them. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Well,
we'll find out.
A convincing win, certainly over the weekend, to win the championship there. And you're right, we will find out what happens there. All right, a lot of stuff. It's just the busiest time of the year, Ron.
Yeah, I know, and now baseball and lacrosse have already started.
Yeah,
so.
You'll be all over the place. Ron Moshier, you can read about it in the Observer-Dispatch. As always, we appreciate it, Ron. Have a wonderful day. Happy birthday.
All right. Hey, thanks, guys.
All right.